I greet you all, gentlemen. Today we are going to cook an awesome dish of Ukrainian origin, and actually this dish of the pork region takes place. It is called Badzonia. It is called differently in fact, yes, but this dish is actually very simple and it is usually prepared on the stove. Well, since let's just say this dish, I think it's worthy of your attention, so we'll cook it now. Let's go. Well, from the ingredients we have today, it's our own potatoes, onions, carrots, salt, pork. You can take beef, pepper, pickles, bay leaf and beans. The beans are soaked, well, it was soaked somewhere for a day, so here it is a little bit so beautiful. Red beans. Well, the gladchik. By the way, an interesting fact is that if you cook this dish in a post, for example, yes, some kind of yes, then instead of meat you can replace it with mushrooms, for example, yes, well, the ingredients by the way, yes, which we have just seen, well, they are prepared in different ways. Since we are going to cook it in the oven, we will lay everything in order and you will see now. And if you cook, for example, well, on the stove, in a saucepan, then of course you need to make such a roast, an onion with carrots like this, then it will be delicious. Well, I won't do that, we'll see now. So first of all we need to cut the toe. Meat is necessary. Well, by the way, you can take it with a bone, you need to take it without a bone. We will cut such small pieces for the calculation. That's it. These are the masenki pieces. I have a shoulder blade here. You need to take different parts, or you can take it with a bone, you can take it without a bone, but the main thing is that there is such a small fat, because I will not have oil here, although oil can be added, but we will cook today without oil. That's it. Here are such musky little things. This fat needs to be removed. This will go to the seals. These masks, that's it. I cut the meat. Now you need to add a little salt to it. Literally a little bit, you don't need much. Mix it up and be sure to pepper it. A little pepper. Add it here and set it aside. Mix it up. You can use it in principle yes. If you cook on the stove, you can of course fry it a little in oil there, yes, fry it a little in sunflower oil. But I will not do this, because I will do it in a cauldron. That's it. Let's leave him for about 5 minutes. He will rest with us. While the meat is resting with us, we squeeze onions. The onion should also be cut, but we will cut it into squares, cubes. Small like this. So that it dissolves shorter, let's say, in our dish. That's the way it is. Great. Potatoes need to be cut. Diced potatoes. Well, not too big, not too small. Here is such a small potato. It's in half like this. So, I cut the potatoes, now we turn to cucumbers. Cucumbers, well, so we need to chop the cucumbers in half like this. Homemade pickles are very tasty. By the way, I also have pickled garlic here. We will also throw him a dish with these kind of hammers. So, cucumbers are homemade. Beauty. Yes, and we are sending it. There's garlic in there. We have a little bit. Well, garlic is not necessarily possible, but I will add it anyway. Great. Cucumbers are ready. That leaves the carrots. And I'll just chop the carrots, well, on the unit already. This is faster. Another carrot. Great. We have all the ingredients ready: potatoes, carrots, cucumbers, onions, meat. Everything is ready. Now you need to put it all in a cauldron. Yes, put it right. First of all, we pack the meat. Meat, so it needs to be laid on, by the way. You can also lay it in layers. You cannot lay it in layers. This is the case. Let's add a little onion. Without onions, as they say, yes, the meat is not tasty. That's how it is. Add more meat. Let's add more like this. Let's add a little bit of carrots. A little bit like this, we'll add carrots. We will add more. Add the onion. Also, it's all necessary to scatter it like this. Yes, that's how it is. Add the meat. Meat, once again I say that if you cook, for example, well, they say at home on the stove usually, yes, then it is better to fry it, of course. Since I'm going to cook it on the stove, yes, then you don't have to do it. Let's add carrots here. Carrots. So we'll scatter it. Add onions. We'll scatter them. Here, in the middle, we add a couple of sheets of bay leaf. Well, that's it. Not a couple, so good. To give it a taste. A little pepper is needed. A little bit. A little bit because I didn't throw the peppers. More precisely, we threw pepper into the meat, but I didn't throw it on carrots. Now add the beans. The beans, as I have already said, were soaked for a whole day. We add all the beans here and straighten them out. Add the onion. We add the remaining carrots here. What we have left, it all goes here. We straighten it out. You can add a little salt, if you like, well, salty as they say. Yes, of course it's better to add salt, but I won't salt, because I will pickle cucumbers. So I think that this salt is enough. Well, you can always find a shorter way, as they say, to add salt after cooking this dish. Add potatoes. I leaked it beforehand. That's how I add it. A full cauldron of potatoes can be crushed. So you can pepper it a little, a little. That's how I'll do it. So far, we are not adding cucumbers. We will add in the process. So, pepper. I won't salt it. Let's add a little water here. Well, I wouldn't say that completely, but we will fill it all with water. Well, somewhere up to half of our glass, I added water here. We cover it all with a lid tightly. And lit the stove. We put our vertebrae. Oh, here it is here. That's how he will stand. About an hour. About an hour. Half an hour passed. Right now, about 40-45 minutes have passed. We are now opening the cauldron. And here we pour out cucumbers. With a spoon, we spread it out a little bit, so that it is evenly. Well, so that it is distributed all completely. Here. Adding more. With garlic. Oh, right. We leave it for about 15 minutes, I think. It's all like this, it's all here. So. And we leave somewhere else probably 15. "15 minutes have passed. Damn, but the poker doesn't fit. Therefore, they go, as they say, into the hands of gloves. And now we are pulling this whole thing out like this. We put it just so that it just stands. We put it all like this and so that it is constantly for another 10 or 15 minutes at most. So the time has come. We take our storehouse. Oh. Here it is. Opening it. Oh, beauty. Now we need to check this whole thing. Yes, it's ready. It's ready. But the dish is this, yes, it needs to be served exactly in a pot. That is, in this very pot, right? And I'm going to leave it for literally about 5 minutes now. Well, 5 on the stove, then we will serve. Wait, chew.
You and you and you and you.